Hi, today I'm going to be talking about the rotator cuff. So first, just to give a little background about actions of the muscles, there are many different types of actions our muscles can take, and a few ways we can figure out which specific actions our muscles takes are by thinking about how the muscles shrink and move. We can also look at the direction of striations, and then we can even place our hand on the muscle and then move it to see how the muscle moves. There are 4 muscles in the rotator cuff, and the first muscle is the supraspinatus muscle, and this is a cylindrical muscle that sits in a depression, and it has 2 attachment points. The medial attachment point is the supraspinous fossa of the scapula, and then its lateral attachment point is the greater tubercle of the humerus, and then in the picture you can see the direction in which the striations run. The second muscle of the rotator cuff is the infraspinatus muscle, and this is a triangular muscle that also sits in a depression. It has 2 attachment points. The medial attachment point is the infraspinous fossa of the scapula, and the lateral attachment point is the greater tubercle of the humerus, and once again you can see highlighted where the muscle is in the picture that shows you the striation directions. The third rotator cuff muscle is the teres minor, and this is a flattened small triangular muscle. It has 2 attachment points. The medial attachment point is the lateral border of the scapula, and then the lateral attachment point is the greater tubercle of the humerus. Then once again, there is a picture and it highlights the teres minor and it shows you the direction that the striations run in. And the fourth muscle of the rotator cuff is the subscapularis muscle, and this is a flat triangular muscle. It has 2 attachment points as well. The medial attachment point is the subscapular fossa, and then the lateral attachment point is the lesser tubercle of the humerus, which is different than the last 3 muscles, which all had a lateral attachment point at the greater tubercle of the muscle. And then in the picture you can see it is the anterior view of the human skeleton, and it highlights where the subscapularis is, and it shows you the direction the striations run in. So going back to actions of the muscle, each muscle in the rotator cuff has a specific action that it takes when standing in the anatomical position. So for the supraspinatus muscle, the action that it takes is abduction. So if I stand in the anatomical position and go like this is abduction, which means to move away from the midline, and it is working my supraspinatus muscle. The next muscle is the infraspinatus muscle. So if I stand in the anatomical position, the infraspinatus muscle will activate if I do a lateral rotation like this, and the lateral rotation is basically moving the limbs away from the midline in a rotating way like this, and that is working my infraspinatus muscle. So the third muscle is the teres minor, and similar to the infraspinatus muscle, it also activates with a lateral rotation, which is moving the limbs away from the midline in a rotating fashion. So this is also working the teres minor. So the third muscle is the teres minor, and similar to the infraspinatus muscle, it also activates with a lateral rotation, which is moving the limbs away from the midline in a rotating fashion. So this is also working the teres minor. And then finally, here is a list of sources I used for all the images provided in this video. And that is all. Thank you for watching.